Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. As you can see to the right, this is the things we're going to talk about today. A little truth update, what's going to supercharge the U.S. dollar. We're going to take a look at DeFi, Llama, and stablecoins, and why I'm thinking about taking most, if not all, of my altcoins and putting them right into what would be stablecoins or backing them on the rails that they're on. I'll also take a look at the Microstrategy for Solana and then a hack that I just learned about this morning, and it scared the hell out of me. So first of all, before we get into all this stuff, I just want to tell everybody that I feel you. I understand that this cycle has been a little bit difficult. And I know that people are waiting for the altcoin season. When's it going to happen? There's videos out and people talking about it and they're giving their best opinion, but nobody knows. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but these things are inevitable. They just are. It's not just going to be, well, Bitcoin will go up because institutions are piling in and sovereign nations and billionaires buying in Mexico and things like that. There are other needs and there are other wants that people are going to get into, and it'll be those digital assets. So just like this happens, it seems like all the time, that there's a little bit of a delay, but these difficult roads, I mean, they lead to some pretty good destinations, and I have no plans on really going anywhere. And on my channel itself, I just posted this on X yesterday. Every single day that I do a video, I lose people. And I don't know if it's just this fantastic green screen or just the tone of my voice or whatever it is, but I just think people are just getting tired. And they're getting tired of all these things. They're getting tired of tariffs. They're getting tired of World War III talk. They're getting tired of rug pulls. They're getting tired of meme coins. I get it. But this is where everything happens. And if you're strong enough to stick through this, which I think you are if you've already gone this far, then I think you're going to be rewarded. It's like Winston Churchill states, when you're going through hell, just keep going. I think we're going to be okay. So anyhow, that's a little bit quick update. Let's take a look at what my guy Donald Trump is doing over on Truth Social. I want to start doing this every so often because it seems like you get a little bit of information, because President of the United States doesn't always tweet or post on X. He puts a lot of stuff on truthsocial.com first. And there's some stuff that you can just ignore that has nothing to do with digital assets. Signs an executive order to for the deadline for the TikTok closing for 90 days. That's not gonna happen anytime. But stuff like this, too late. Jerome Powell, and let me know what you think about this in the comment section. We'll get in this in the Q&A as well. But Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chair, is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He is truly one of the dumbest and most destructive people in government. And the Fed board is complicit. Europe has had 10 cuts. We have had none. We should be 2.5 points lower and save billions of dollars on all of Biden's short-term debt. We have low inflation, too late in American disgrace. Now, I'm not here to say that we should go one way or the other. I'm just saying this is what Trump is saying right now. Do you think that Federal Jerome Powell should have cut rates yesterday? Do you think he will cut coming up? And what does this mean for inflation? And then lastly, this was a pretty good one. Not this one, not this one, this one here. Talking about the Genius Act. I don't know if you know this, but Senate passed it, but he still has to sign it into law. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Remember, this is the President of the United States talking. He's talking about digital assets. He's not just talking about Bitcoin, digital assets. He's moving things forward. Nobody will do it better. It's pure genius. Digital assets of the future, and our nation is going to own it. We are talking about massive investment and big innovation. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean genius bill. Get it to my desk. I said, well, that's right. Senate passes and goes to the House of Representatives. No delays, no add-ons. This is American brilliance at its best. We are going to show the world how to win with digital assets like never before, which will lead me into the top story. Supercharging the dollar. This is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. And he was asked about this because there was a worry that digital assets will actually take the place of the US dollar. And what he said, and what we're going to look at transactions as far as stable coins as what Visa is tracking, and also the largest chains that are being used for stable coins and the volume that is being done by each particular chain and why this is so important. So I'm not going to steal his thunder. This is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent asked why Digital assets will actually supercharge everything. Just take a listen. Hold on, let me make sure you can actually hear this perfectly. It's about a minute or so. Just take a listen.
There's a new book called King Dollar. A journalist who's followed Treasury for about 40 years.
Yeah.
And he talks about every time there was a narrative that the U.S. was going to lose reserve currency status, why it's never happened. And
because crypto, that seems to be a threat to the dollar, doesn't it?
I think it's the opposite.
Oh, really?
I think stable coins could reinforce dollar supremacy, because with stable coins could end up being one of the largest buyers of U.S. treasuries or T-bills. So all of a sudden, if you are using a stable coin in Nigeria that's backed by the U.S. dollar, you don't actually have to have dollars. It's on your phone. You can transact. So I think there's a very good chance that crypto is actually one of the things that locks in dollar supremacy.
And is that why it was crucial that Donald Trump get involved in crypto rather than trying to constrain it like Joe Biden was?
Well, I think constrain's too mild a word. I think make it extinct. So this administration's commitment to digital assets, it's innovation, because there's so many other things that happen around digital assets. And also, it's one of those things that it's one of the most important phenomena that's happening in the world, and the U.S. just ignored it. There's a
Yeah, well, first of all, you see how he's always talking about digital assets, digital assets, digital assets? We used to call these things cryptocurrencies back in the day. But I knew when I started my channel, just as this little caveat, I knew when I started my channel that they wouldn't be called cryptocurrencies forever. I knew at some point the government would get involved. I had a gut feeling, I should say. And we would just start calling these digital assets. That's why I call it digital asset news instead of cryptocurrency daily news or something like that. But again, this makes a lot of sense. This will supercharge the dollar, and we took a look at this yesterday, or 4 or 5 days ago. Take a look at when people say, well, is everybody applicable to this? Can they actually get stable coins? Yes, because roughly 93% of the world, doesn't matter if it's a first world or third world country, they have smartphones. If they have smartphones, they can be involved in blockchain, and they can be involved in stable coins. And what are stable coins backed by? The US dollar and treasuries and things like that. This only makes sense moving forward. And we're going to get to those chains. But I want to bring to your attention also just one more person that might be kind of important to this discussion. And that would be David Sachs, the US AI and crypto czar. Now, just take a listen to what he said. And it's a funny thing, because they both said these things on the same day. This is a Bloomberg text. So just take a listen here, about a minute or so.
I think you'd see traditional financial players getting involved.
Oh, before anybody complains, the volume is kind of low. You got to really try to listen. This is up at full blast, so I can't really help that. Here we go.
In it, and that's why the float is expected to grow from, call it, roughly 250 billion to trillions of dollars, and that would create more demand for the U.S. dollar internationally. I think you could see other economies start to dollarize from the bottom up, as their citizens would prefer to use U.S. digital dollars as opposed to.
All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's just too short. All he said was the same thing what Scott Bessent said. This will supercharge the dollar. We're going to have this done because we want to back 1-to-1 by the U.S. dollar. This is why they passed the Genius Act. Also, if it's not the U.S. dollar, it'll be treasuries, be U.S. bills, T-bills, everything else in between. So the question you're probably having is, why does Rob always talk about stablecoin? It seems kind of ridiculous. I can't really do much with that. You're right. You can't. But as everybody knows, and a lot of the people have been with me for quite some time, it's about the rails that the stablecoins are built on. Stablecoins and the lion's share, USDT or Tether has $156 billion, and USDC, I think, in number 8 or 9, again in the top 10. That's 93% of all types of TVL and transactions that are done are either on USDC or USDT. So you have to think to yourself, okay, well, who's the big player in this game? Well, if you go to defilama.com/stablecoins/chains, don't worry, I'll link in the description to make it super simple for you. I want you to do your own research. And this is the TVL. And what you want to notice here is the top dogs. And what you also want to notice is total market cap issued, or how much is going through. And then also there's this thing called dominant stablecoin. What you will notice is that, and people make fun of Ethereum, and I get it, but I think it'll be just the transaction, or excuse me, the settlement layer, and the layer twos will do their thing. But Ethereum, total market cap is $140 billion worth. That's almost the entire market cap of Tether. Dominant stablecoin, it's 50.03% of USDT, and of course USDC is probably like 49% or something like that. Tron, which we've been talking about quite a bit. I know some people hate Justin Sun, some people love him, I don't know. But they are 99% USDT. They are the lion's share of USDT. They have $79 billion wrapped up in that. Solana, 10.52 billion. Interesting. Big numbers. But how much transactional volume does it have? That's the bigger question. Binance Smart Chain, that's why people love it. Base, Hyperliquid, 76 million. And you can see how it really, really does drop off quite a bit after Base. Yeah. Arbitrum. Actually, no, that is untrue. Let me see here. You can see that actually Arbitrum has $5 billion. Polygon is 630 million. Avalanche, 1 billion. Aptos, 1 billion. Sui, almost $1 billion. Then it kind of drops off. So on and so forth into the millions, and not too much. So the question you have to ask yourself, okay, there's TVL, there's total volume locked up in there. Who is transacting, Rob? Who's actually making this whole show run? Great question. And Visa has the answer, which is very strange that Visa tracks this. This is on Visa on-chain analytics.com. Again, a link in the description. You don't have to work so hard. So stablecoin transaction, I don't care about this. What I want to see is this. Stablecoin transaction volume by blockchain. This is why I've been talking about Tron a lot. And you can just see, you do it. This is as far as June 2025. What do you notice? Who's the top? Transaction volume. It's Tron. $177 billion worth of transaction volume to date as far as June. Crazy, right? If you're an American, you're like, who the hell uses Tron? It's everybody else. Ethereum, 147 billion. Binance Smart Chain, 108 billion. And then it really drops off. Solana has 18 billion, Base 17 billion worth of transaction volume, Arbitrum, blah, 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 blah. But I got to tell you, when I look at these, you have to start to think about what's best for the future. And I'm debating about putting everything as far as my altcoins. And these are like altcoins that, I got a long time ago, have been underperforming. I still think we're going to see a big season at some point. And just start to drop them all into this stuff. Tron, Ethereum, Binance, Solana, Base. Well, you can't do Base. Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Aptos, Optimism, maybe even CeeLo. Anyhow, and that was June. If you go back to May, Tron was still number one, 297 billion. Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Arbitrum, Base, blah, 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 blah. So it gives you something to think about, right? If you think like this is the future and this is where things are going, which I personally do, I think maybe these are the things to really start to look at as these are the winners. And this is the next case. Now, next cycle, I don't know what the heck it's going to be, but I think, again, you're in the right place, the right time. Do your own research. I link these two in the description. Check it out. And then I have to do a quick update before we get into the other pieces of this, which unfortunately we did not. There we are. So truth update, Supercharge, DeFi Llama stables. And we'll get to the Solana strategy in a bit. What I wanted to show was, this is a quick update. And because I was talking about Tron and how great it was, well, for stablecoins, there was a cyber attack yesterday, and Iran's biggest bank and their biggest crypto exchange got hacked for $100 million of crypto. And what was interesting to me is that they hacked it, and I just thought they stole it, but apparently they burnt it, which would be sending a big fat message, because this was, I believe, Israeli hackers trying to destroy Iran, which I mean, financially, they're doing a pretty good job. And what this is, that's not it, was that the money was sent, well, here's the wallet, and it looks like they're going to burn, I guess, a bunch of Tether, which USDT on the Tron rails. So if you're like, well, maybe Tron might be something. Well, the Israeli hackers are helping you out as they're burning a massive amount of Tether on the Tron rails. And there was something else down here. Oh, yeah. The lesson is clear. If you're Bitcoin, I don't know if they burn any Bitcoin, but anything, if anything is on an exchange, you don't own it. So that falls right in lines with our rules. Number 3, don't leave anything on exchanges. I think if you've been this far, you've learned your lesson. Maybe get a little bit of, I don't know, another cold storage device. Maybe if you have over, $5,000, maybe you don't want to lose that. Why don't you buy a $60 cold storage device like a TANGEM or a $110 or whatever it is, ledger, and get multiple of them? Or why don't you sign up for iTRUST and have them in custody for you? Just saying. So that was just a little piece there. And then also, this is what I was looking for. The group sent the exchange to a telling Tron address, TKFUCKI. Ooh, wow. RGCT. Well, family show. I'm not going to say that. But moving forward, Solana, like we just talked about. Again, the stable coins. It wasn't just about what Solana does, even though they're like 4th or 5th as far as transactional volume on stable coins. But this was interesting, is that they are using, this is the Microstrategy of Solana. And this is a little post from curb.sol. Just in, Sol Strategies files Form 40F with the SEC to get listed on the New York Stock Exchange under symbol STKE. Sol Strategies is the MicroStrategy of Solana. I was like, what the heck is this? So there's a website, solstrategies.io. And I just want you to think about this as we go through here. Which different digital assets do you know that is being bought up by corporations and other entities and putting them on the balance sheets, like, say, Bitcoin and Solana? I would say maybe like an XRP. Maybe there was also an Ethereum. But you got to start to think about these things, because who is buying it up? And that, I think, is one of the big questions. So Solana meets Wall Street. Very interesting. Is their holdings. And just think about this as far as like what is being locked up, because they're not selling, because when these VCs and other people, retail even, they put these on the markets, that's sell pressure. It means the price goes down. But if you got something like solstrategies.io, what they're doing is that they're buying up Solana, putting on the balance sheet, and they're holding it. So you've got 3.6 million, which I know is not a whole enchilada, but I mean, it's something, which is worth $500 million. Wow, $500 million. Solana network is currently secured by a TVL of 6 billion with approximately 40 million Solana tokens. And that's what they're doing. So I know some people hate Solana, some people love Solana. So I'll just let you marinate on that one. And then lastly, this is a scary one. The hack. Now this hack, I think I might even fall for this as well. And I want to bring everybody's attention. So what this was, it was a story from Mehdi Farouk. And he states, 1 minute I was prepping for a Zoom call. 10 minutes later, large part of my life savings were gone. First of all, when I read that, I'm like, okay, you're a moron, because you shouldn't take Zoom calls from people you don't know. But wait, it gets better. It started with a message on Telegram from Alex Lin, someone I actually knew. And I guess this guy knew him for years. And he's been transacting and doing business with this guy for years. So he got a message on Telegram and he just wanted to catch up. No big deal, right? So he shared his Calendly link, which is his. He booked a slot for the next day. A few minutes before the call, he asked to switch to Zoom Business for compliance reasons. Said one of his liquidity providers will be joining, Kent, who I also knew. Given we were doing a lot of Treasury deals and there was genuine, again, this is crazy. The scammers knew they were doing Treasury deals. They knew who was their friends. And there was genuine liquidity provider interest. It didn't seem out of the ordinary. I joined the Zoom, no audio, but I could see both of them. I think even in the picture, there was the two guys, Alex and Kent. They told me to update Zoom to fix the audio issue. That's when it happened when I updated. 6 wallets were drained. And I'll get to this, why this is dumb. My fault for not keeping things more buttoned up. Oh, you think? My laptop compromised completely. Years of savings gone in minutes. Savings. Years of life savings. And apparently, a large part of his life savings was gone. It was surreal and completely violating, but in the darkest moments, white hacker stepped up. Complete strangers offering help when I was at the lowest. Turns out I was compromised by some threat. And the worst part right here. While my wallet was being emptied, the hacker kept chatting on Telegram like nothing was wrong. He even joked, let's catch up at SG, whatever the heck that is. So here's the thing. A, that was dumb. B, we understand that. But it's something that even like you might fall for. Because let's say you're just having a bad day, or let's say that you're sick. Let's say that you just run down. You're not really thinking. It happens all the time, right? Are we at 100% peak efficiency? No. So if somebody you know contacts you in Telegram, hey man, let's catch up. And we've been doing deals already. And there's another person that joined that you actually know and are also doing deals. And you see them moving around the background and not a recorded thing from before, because maybe they used AI or something like that. And you're like, oh, just download this. You're like, sorry, whatever, man. And then boom, you're gone. First of all, Alex hits on the head. Just don't have any friends. Just tell people, I don't want to talk to you ever. Tell your mother to never contact you. Tell your brothers they're morons. I mean, my brothers are. No, that's not a good idea. What a good idea is of this. First of all, if he got his wallets drained, that means he had hot wallets connected to his computer. If he had multiple or cold storage or multiple cold storage devices, this would not have happened. Even if they're able to get into Ledger Live or something like that, you still need the physical device. Even if they're able to get into TANGEM, you still need the physical device. So I feel sorry for this guy, but let's be honest. If you're keeping most of your life savings in a hot wallet on your computer, c'est la vie. This is going to happen. So the question then is, well, what do you do? First of all, you diversify your storage like I've been begging everybody, every single one of you to do. If you've got over $500, if you got over $5,000, if you got over $1,000 in crypto, do you want to lose that $1,000, or would it just behoove you to maybe buy an extra TANGEM for $60, or buy an extra Ledger, or maybe use iTRUST, which is free, by the way, to transfer your crypto into iTRUST, have them custody it for you, just like they do. Well, they use Coinbase Prime, which BlackRock and Microstrategy use, which I have like 25, 30% over there. I also have a Roth IRA. Why aren't you doing this? Anyhow, what I want you to do real quick is there's a link in the description. I added this to my crypto critical video, so I think it's critical for everybody. Why storage diversification? It's going to go to this video, and I talk about it very simply, why this is important. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. I know it's not where we want to be right now. Just hold on. I still say things are inevitable, but that's it for this piece. So now, if you're so inclined, let's do a little Q&A, and I'll answer all your questions to the best of my abilities. Let's go from there. Let's see. David says, thank you, David. I just got a TANGEM a week ago using your link. Thank you. I appreciate it that you did the things for your family to make sure and steward your digital assets. It's very simple. I love TANGEM. I like Ledger. I've got multiple ones, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense to me to do those things. I don't get it. Verhoofty is here. Hopium pump and dump round trip bros 3. We were promised $100 XRP. Hey, June's not over. We could get $100 XRP. Just kidding. Let's see. Paul says, my mother got scammed over WhatsApp for cash. Can happen anywhere. You know, I'm going to guess that she got scammed, but not for her life savings. See, this is the thing. When I used to work home health with elderly, because that's what home health really is, I'd go and talk to these people, and it would seem like every month or so, every couple months, we'd have somebody get scammed out of their funds. Old people are the most vulnerable. Unfortunately, our senior citizens. And one of the good things is that they can't, But it's difficult for these hackers to get all the dollars out of the bank, because any transaction over $10,000, usually the bank is going to speak up and say, what are you doing here? What's going on? I know people hate that about the banks, but sometimes it actually has saved some of our patients with this one that didn't go through, because they're like, hey, this is obviously a scam. What are you doing? And we would actually do the teaching as well. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks when you're trying to move, over $10,000 because you need to do something for construction or you need to do something for real estate like I do. It's a big pain in the A, but it is what it is. However, with crypto, there is none of that. There is no safeguards. If they get a hot wallet like they got that kid's, it's gone. And they put it through a mixer, and there's a ton of different crypto exchanges that are available just for money laundering. Let's be honest. That is gone. So that's why I'm so adamant about, you can use a hot storage wallet. I use MetaMask. I use Phantom, but I'm not leaving my entire life savings on there. Multiple cold storage devices, multiple locations, custody service, diversification of your crypto. I know it sounds boring and it sounds a little paranoid, but the paranoid ones are the ones that actually make out pretty good. iTRUST Capital. Yes, Tyler, exactly. This is funny. Baruti says, hey, Chewy, how you doing, you SOB? It's like we're at the pub or something. This is great. What's happening in Minutes Network? So there'll be a video dropping today where I reveal that I purchased 58,333 Minutes tokens and how to stake Minutes tokens. Actually, Minutes tokens are Minute Network. And Josh is supposed to come back on the program. Let's see, what am I looking for? Well, if you do a search for, let me just do it. It's not here. Wow, it's not easy. I got to update that. So what I'll do today is, again, I'm talking about staking, how I'm staking all of my tokens, and I'll be writing this one for quite a long time. So good question as far as Minutes. And they did what they said they were going to do. They launched, I think it was like 3 weeks later than the original date. It's pretty good. Hasn't dumped. Everything's decreased. Let's call a spade a spade. Even Bitcoin's decreased. But Minutes, here we go. It's in the thousands. It's a very new token. So, it did pretty good. It was launched in April at 20 cents. And I think its all-time high was 29. Not bad. And now it's down to 28. So, sure. This is pretty solid. I think it's because everybody's staking it. So we'll see how that works out. Jabonehead says, tired boss, was hoping to exit some of this June and enjoy the summer, but got to stay locked in for a while longer, it seems. Yeah, it's okay. Me personally, I've just been buying more things. I'm using Kraken, which is a delight for my main exchange. Also using Binance US. I didn't realize I could use that. And I've been using that to get Hyperliquid. And then the majority, though, is buying Bitcoin every single day. Seems boring, but it's like 75, almost 80% of my portfolio. But I still think that altcoins will outperform. The thing is, though, I don't think that all altcoins will outperform. I think it's going to be a little bit different cycle. And people are going to say, okay, I got screwed over with these meme coins, I should say. And everything is a meme coin besides Bitcoin. There's these things called stable coins, and we need Ethereum to do it. And even JP Morgan's launching their coin on Base, which is a layer 2 solution on Ethereum. So these things actually do have a function. Anyhow, we'll see. Hey, Rob, you getting a Solana seeker? No, but if the Solana Foundation wants to send me a phone, DMs are open. Careful about FedEx sending a duty bill 20 days after you receive your TANGEM. Old guy, you got to fill me in on that. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe scammers are sending those out? I'm not for sure. Hoofty. People should learn to use containers on a computer and isolate their activity and idea. Yeah, or do what Jason Appleton, Crypto Crow, does. he has his own computer that is offline, that is located in some mysterious location outside of his house, and that's how he keeps everything maintained and not hackable. He says it's a real pain in the A to do it. He goes, but it's a pain in the A for me, and it's almost impossible for the hackers, and I have to respect that. That sounds good. Wow. Tyler says, I have 3 TANGEMs and an iTRUST Roth IRA account. I agree, you have to diversify in crypto. Not your keys, not your coins, Hiro wallet, iTrust cap. Tyler, thank you for sounding off. I appreciate it. Okay. You're making my job very easy. This is great. Any updates? Yeah, Tristan, we'll get Josh back on. Let's see. J2 Day says, what's up with no one caring about data breaches? I think it's the world we live in, you know? It's like replacing your computer every couple of years. I mean, if this would have happened in like the 80s, you'll be freaking out because, you know, computers are super expensive, but now it's like an everyday occurrence, I guess. This is a better example, I'm sure. But data breaches, it seems like if you touch the internet, that your social security, your date of birth, your name, much information is out there. And it doesn't help that we have social media accounts which have pictures of our kids and grandkids and relatives and your face plastered everywhere. You know, it's just not great. And that's the big thing. The bigger thing that concerns me was that Coinbase hack, which was, you know, a lot of people's, they say it's 4%, but I'm like, really? Because, you know, you weren't even admitting it before. Now you're saying 4%. You know, next month it'll be, well, it was actually 20%. Well, did I say 20? Maybe 30, 50%. And the hackers got your date of birth, your bank information, the last numbers of your bank account, true. They have your address, dangerous. And what's even more dangerous is that they have your how much crypto or digital assets that you have bought along the years. So they can say, looks like Rob, who lives at 1234 Recht Street in Los Angeles, California, has $10 million worth of GigaChad or whatever. So we're going to go break into his home, wrench attack him, and go from there. And people say, come to my house because I got a gun. There was a great example of person who they had their car, they close it in on the person's garage, so it kind of was like teetering out. They walked to the guy's door and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I lost control of my car and I accidentally hit a little bit of your garage door. Can we exchange insurance information so I can make this right? Oh, no big deal. Let me take a look out there. Walks outside, 5 guys there, wrench attack him, kidnap him, take his funds. If you got a gun, you know, unless you're, you know, pistoling up for everybody that opens your door, it's going to happen. That was a long explanation. Let's see. 007 says, Rob, I have my eyes on Tron. If Tron continues to dominate in stablecoin transactions but doesn't grow in DeFi or NFT sectors, is that enough to keep it relevant for a long-term hold? Well, it's that and the craziness that is Justin Sun. That guy, love him or hate him, or if he's a criminal or not, I don't know, whatever. He's a hell of a marketer. And he swindles his way into different things. And that's why he's doing a reverse IPO with the Trump brothers, even though they say that, you know, publicly, we don't know it. But, I mean, how long has Tron been around? Let's really think about this. How long has Tron been around? 2018 to 17? Let's find out. Because if Tron has been around for, I don't know, 8 years or so, November 2017. Think about all the crypto tokens and coins and meme coins and layer 1s and layer 2s and maybe layer 3s that have come and gone, even though they were such hyped. Oh, I'll even do you one better. Well, no. Think of all those and just realize that Tron is the number 8 by market cap. So let me take you down memory lane. Let's take 2017, February 5th. What was the top 10? Bitcoin, as it always is. Ethereum XRP, Litecoin, doing good so far. Monero, Ethereum Classic. Okay, now things are getting wonky. Number 7, Dash. Number 8, MadeSafe Coin. Number 9, does anybody remember these? NEM, I do. Augur, Economy, Steam, Factom, Tether, Golem, Zcash, Doge. Okay, got me on the Doge. Waves, something, Stellar, something. Just think about that. And then realize that in this day and age, with institutions coming in and everybody want to be, well, corporations and such, want to be part of the digital asset space, Tron is number 8. It is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. Let's see. We're in the innings where people need to sell their old bags to rotate into products that have real revenue. Do not follow the same mistakes of people in the dot-com bubble holding worthless F. It's a good point. And it's a good point about unlocks. Because I heard this argument. They're like, the problem is with a lot of altcoins that we got a lot of unlocks from the 2020, 2021, and people, VCs are finally dumping because they got in like pennies on the dollar. True. Some of these things, and the ones we just talked about for the stable coins, I'd like you to look through to see what kind of unlocks they have going on. Like people will say, one of the big things about Solana, they'll say, is it's a VC coin, massive unlocks, and it's going to get dumped. I will say this. When I take a look at the unlocks, and you can find that on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, there's not that many really going on. Now, it is inflationary because there is a staking object, right? You have to pay the stakers for securing the network. But when I take a look at Solana, people say, it's a VC coin. If the VCs were smart enough to get in back in the day, right? Do you think they would have dumped it maybe in, I don't know, towards the top of 2021, 2022? And then when it broke down to $9, do you think those VCs might have sold just a little before they got dumped on by retail? Probably. So at this point, the people that have accumulated, I'm not saying it's all retail. It's probably the smart money doing it again. But when we talk about these things, you can see that there's a reason you might want to take a look at, say, like the Solanas and the Trons of the world, that the ones that people hate. But there's other altcoins out there. I mean, like I like Cardano. I know some people say I'm like, that's just stupid. Why'd you like Cardano? I think it's going to go places. There's different things. Stable coins, it did fail at that. That's for sure. Anyhow, that's a whole other video. Hey, Jim's here. News today, 16 billion login credentials, including passwords, are exposed. Yes. Fantastic. Not surprised. I saw this. This was, I think it was Apple and Google, and I think another big corporation which was hacked. Hello, welcome to the internet age. Sucks. So everybody get out there, a little word of advice. Maybe you want to do some kind of biometrics when you're logging in. Like my computer, I put my finger on the thing and it opens up. Also, you want to change all your passwords. Also, you'd be surprised how Google Authenticator is not the greatest thing to have. I need to show you how there's like a backup on your email with all your Google Authenticator codes that people could hack into. Just be aware of that. All right. He knows the right people to bribe. Hey, Justin's son, probably so. Why do you pronounce Solana like it's a hot pepper in your mouth? I don't know. I just did it. It's the same reason why Donald Trump says China. It's just how I say it. Let's see. Old guy tech, not a scam, unfortunately. Physical letter of the mail, I'm disputing the charge of FedEx. So we're talking about TANGEM, not a scam. Physical letter in the mail, I'm disputing the charge of FedEx. I will send you an email. Great. Mostly for YouTube channel. Well, if TANGEM has the receipt, there should be no reason for anybody else. Average Joe, I made a live. Welcome, Average Joe. Bitcoin Cash ETF incoming. Ooh, that would make a lot of sense for why Bitcoin Cash is pumping today. Interesting. I have some of the smartest people in the chats. Look at that. 12% for the week. 7% in 24 hours and 1.7% in the last hour. Let's say 24 hours. Ooh, look at that. When was this? June 19th from 460. That's looking pretty good. Congratulations, all you Bitcoin Cash holders. I am not one of you. Good luck. Yeah, we'll see. That'd be pretty cool, though. ETF incoming. Thanks, Rusty. Alts. Rob, what's the update with the algo node? I'm not going to run one. I reached out to the Mooch to see if he had any people that could help me out. And he's like, let me take a look. Never contacted me back. Oh, well. What is Jasic? Any thoughts on Daddy Coin? I have no idea what that is. Let's see. Master Blaster. What's the best staking site to like learn about staking or like particular digital assets to stake? There's a good one. There's one called stakingrewards.com. And it looks like this. You kind of find the information about like staking market cap, ratios, reputation. This thing looks a lot different than I remember. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Anyhow, as far as like where to stake, I stake within my TANGEM and my ledger. And if they don't offer it, then I just don't do it. Wow, 12 breaches on my email. Change that password. Yep. Yeah, staking rewards. Adjustments. I think that's it. Robbie into mining, I'm not. But follow my friend Andy over on YouTube. He's big into it. Really smart guy. Hey, Rob, any thoughts about Psi, fastest blockchain and users are time increasing? Gosh, I think I have enough altcoins. Psi is ranked 89. Interesting. SEI, over 24 hours is up 13%. Unfortunately, over a year, it's down 47%. So I really can't say this is anything awesome. Yeah, maybe. That's it. What's Andy's YouTube channel? Just search my friend Andy and you'll find it. And last question, or last statement question, will iTrust Capital allow staking in a Roth IRA? I know the answer to that. And the answer is yes. And would you like to know which cryptos or digital assets they're going to start with? I bet you would. And I can't tell you. But that will be Q3. Anyhow, that's it for today. So everybody, if you like today's video, like and subscribe, all that great stuff. Tomorrow, a lot of things going on, so I'm not sure if we'll do a live stream, but I'm going to put out that video on minutes staking, how important that is. But that's it for today. So thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.